This is my Thunder Roadster. It's a really fun car to drive. It was painted by kids that we bring to the track who have terminal illness. And there's some very interesting things in here. Some of it is just what kids do. And some of it is some very special messages to particular kids that may not even be here anymore. The first event that I did was probably 20 years ago, and I was asked to take kids for a ride on the track. So I went to the event. The first person they put in the car was about a 7 or 8 year old little boy. This little boy never stopped telling me to go faster. He had a good time, left the car with a big smile on his face. The second child they gave me was probably 15 or 16 years old, and they told me he's medicated right now. So I drove around kind of carefully with him. The third person was about a 7 or 8 year old little girl. And I realized at this point that connecting with the child was way more important. And it was when the movie Cars came out. And she had seen the movie Cars, and the car I had at that time was a Porsche, and I said, hey, this car's like Sally Carrera, it's a Porsche. And she says, I have a Sally Carrera. I said, great, I want to see your Sally Carrera when we get finished. So we finished the session, brought the car into the pits, they got her out of the car, I parked the car, and I went and found where all the families were. And I found her, and she was hanging around with her friends. I said, got on my knees, so I'm eye level with her. And I said, hey, where's your Sally Carrera? I want to see your Sally Carrera. So she took my finger, and we walked across the room until we found her mother. And we went out to their car, and her Sally Carrera was a little plastic Happy Meal Sally Carrera. And so I'm back on my knees, eye level with her, and I'm playing with the Sally Carrera on the ground. And I handed it back to her, and she handed it back to me. And I said, no, I'm finished. Thank you very much. It's a very cool car. And I handed it back to her, and she handed it back to me, and she says, you keep it. And I looked up at her mother. She said, she wants you to have it. My eyes welled up. I got a big lump in my throat. And that was it. For the last 20 years, I've not missed but one event. It's such a rewarding thing for me and for the kids and their families. I'd like to give a special thanks to PBOC National, John Kim, and Mike Merritt, and Bob Turnage. We can't do this without organizations like that. Also, sponsors like Rigo Vega at DeLand Nissan, and all the many volunteers that show up to help us with everything from setting up to working with the kids to cleaning up when it's all done. And people who provide food for the kids, and a lot of people donate to pay for the families to come here because some of them couldn't afford to be here. And all of that comes together for a fantastic event.
My name is John Kim. I started driving here myself, gosh, I want to say maybe 17, 18 years ago as a participant. And just like everybody else, it seems like this place just kind of draws people in. And I went from just a participant, got very active with PBOC, got to know the owners. Before I knew it, I took this tiger by the tail and I took PBOC over. And so one of the biggest things about PBOC, besides obviously their major holy grail, which is called Winterfest, is this fall charity event. And they used to host different groups, but specifically it was always for children. And then along came this organization called the Base Camp, and then we monikered it Base Camp Goes Racing, and here we are. Just to jump right into this weekend here, the camera can't portray this, but it is 975 degrees out there, and most people don't want to take their cars and come out on a hot and heavy weekend like this. But what makes this track become alive are the people that come and participate. Well, honestly, like Rigo, and 100% of our children got rides on out there because Rigo had relationships that care. And in defense of PBOC, we've got several others like, Rigo that come in and create this ambiance.
Without friends and, we can call them customers. I call them friends because a customer is somebody you see one time and then that's the end of that. But when you get to do this many years with the same people, they go past the friendship. Some of them, you feel almost like they're family members. We would like to invite more people to make a bigger family. That's for sure the ultimate goal, right? But we will not stop helping people that really need a little bit of support when all I have to do is just be present, and it means the world to them. And my effort is just tiny compared to what we do for those people here.